So I know that everybody who's watching this video has had a dream, right? We all have dreams. And when a dream is coming true, it's always different than I've imagined. So I've had a dream since I was a little girl. People would say to me, Kat, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'd say I want to be a storyteller, I want to be an actress, and I want to be a missionary. Those were the three things. Because when I was little, I loved telling stories, and just had a whole spiritual path that felt like it was going to be mine, and I loved hamming it up. So a dream come true was happening for me last week. I have almost finished writing a book, and I was going to get to perform a little bit of that book. So, writing stories and being an actress. And the missionary part is I believe in the message in this book, and I believe wholeheartedly in what this book can offer to people. Not just me, like ego, I'm so great, but what's the stuff that just comes through me when I sit down to write. I feel so grateful for that gift I've been given of having a download of things that I can share with people that are hopefully helpful. Dream coming true, having a webinar. I planned it, I prepared. It was a part of this crowdfunding launch I'm doing for my book in March. And the moment came and the doors opened and people started coming onto the webinar, and I was welcoming them and I was having fun. And I had my script ready, the part I was going to read from my book, and then some exercises to do with people. So not like a classic webinar, but a cat kind of webinar where I play with people. Then I started reading from my book. That was the moment I felt vulnerable. I felt like my heart was going, oh my gosh, it's really happening. And this is when the dream come true had some nightmare qualities. Lots of people coming on to the webinar. I had forgotten to put the setting so the dings didn't happen. And the person who I thought I'd have a tech host, and that didn't work out. So anyway, I'm reading and ding, 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 ding is interrupting my reading. And so when I say nightmare, it's not like a tragedy was happening, but inside me, I was starting to feel a little crushed. And then the worst thing happened. I froze, like totally froze on the screen. I'm blabbing away over here in my own little world. And my husband, Curtis, who was supporting me that day, comes on and he's like, yeah, Kat, we totally lost you and nobody could hear you. And even when I started to speak again, there was a wobbliness. It was just messy. I'm just going to say it was messy. It felt like a nightmare to me because I'd had such a beautiful idea of delivering this passage in my book and inspiring people, and then doing these exercises, and it all just being all so wonderful. So there was that nightmarish moment for me of vulnerability. How many of you have had that, where there's something you care about so much, and yet it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go? Well, that's been me this whole month. I'm just going to say, of crowdfunding for this book. My dream come true because this is what I love doing, and this is how I help people best. But also, I've had to be really vulnerable and uncomfortable and being willing to experience what I call a nightmare for the sake of doing bigger something bigger. So this is what I want to leave you with. If there's something bigger, and it doesn't have to be anything like what I do, it could be something that other people might consider small, but in your heart it's big. But you know that in order to do it, you're going to have to face possible messiness, maybe even a disaster. I say to you, do it anyway. Because guess what? I survived. Everybody on the call, on the webinar, it looked, when everybody was done, it looked like there was some happiness there. Some information got transmitted. We spent an hour together. I loved every single person who attended. And I love you. So thank you. Thank you for being in my community, being a part of my support team. I also am a part of your support team. So remember that. Okay.